Welcome to today's episode of Confessions of a Cleaning Business Owner. And in today's episode, you're going to get to know Diane and I a little bit better. We've set 5 questions. We don't know what the questions are, but hopefully this will help you get to know us a little bit better. I've got no idea what the answer is going to be because I've got no idea what the questions are. And if we decide not to publish this, then there should be some really funny clips just for our entertainment. So shall we start, Diane? Shall I start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Diane, we all know that you're a DCBN director, started 4 years ago. What annoys you most about the DCBN?
What annoys me most about the DCBN is probably when people don't take our advice.
Or people don't listen to you.
Yeah, when they don't take our advice on board, because we've got so many years of experience. We don't know everything, but we've probably experienced most challenges. And yeah, I find it frustrating when I will give amazing advice, tell them exactly what they need to do, and they don't always like the answer, so they ignore it. That's it. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Go on then, you'll go.
Okay, I've actually got 6 questions. I snuck one in, but anyway, I'm gonna start with a sensible one. So, what's your best advice that you would give to somebody who is starting a cleaning business right now?
So obviously I do have to give this advice all the time. But if I'm really honest, if it was me starting the cleaning business, the advice that I would want is, look, it's a game. You know, you can get so bogged down with, oh, this is the right thing to do, and this is HMRC, and this is that. And I treat it like a game, and it's like a game of Monopoly. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes just walk away or restart the game. It's not the end of the world. And I think that people get so engrossed in their business being them. Remember, it's a business and it's separate to you. And so I guess it would be more about mindset. Have fun. Start a business, enjoy it. And you know what? Go out and tell everyone what you're doing. That would be my best advice. That, and get your contracts and paperwork in place before you start, because it's a nightmare later.
And join the DCBN, obviously.
And join the DCBN. And what's your advice, Diane? What would you say?
My advice, I think you're right. Do something that you're going to enjoy. Otherwise, don't do it, because it's too hard having a business of any description if you're not enjoying it.
Okay. This brings me on to my question, right? So I've got a bit abstract here. You're given £1,000 to start a business and 1 month. What would you do?
Wow. Actually, there's a television programme on that I've been seeing trailered at the moment where they give them £250 and they have to double it. And then they have to double it again and double it again. And I was sort of thinking, well, £250, I could start a cleaning business. I'd make £500, no problem. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, but then I've got to keep doubling it. It gets harder, doesn't it? So £1,000 and I've got to...
You've got 1 month and £1,000. What are you going to do?
What am I going to do? Gosh, that's a really good question, and I'm not really sure. I'd probably just go and blow it and just fail the competition.
Do you know that's not what I expected you to say? I was looking for some words of wisdom. I'm looking for my next business idea, and you're just going to blow it and not.
Yeah, it's difficult though, because it's like, would I want to start another business from scratch? Probably not. However, if I only had £1,000, I could easily build a cleaning business to the VAT threshold now in a year. Easily.
You've only got 1 month in my question.
But what I'm saying is, I would start a cleaning business again with my £1,000, because it would be so easy with all my knowledge to build it really quickly. I could make it a significant business with that £1,000 investment really quickly. It would take me more than a month to get where I wanted to be, but I could get a long way.
And I think people forget that actually building a cleaning business takes time. And actually, you could have a fraction of the money, but if you were given longer time, you'd do better than throwing loads of money at it for 1 month.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was watching I haven't watched the program. I've just been seeing the trailers for it, where I think somebody was making cupcakes and things like that. And I'm just like, that's not scalable unless you've got a team making those cupcakes for you. Whereas the cleaning business is the ultimate scalable business if you're going to build it with a team, isn't it? So yeah, my £1,000 would start another cleaning business.
Love it. Go on, your question.
So I've got a bit of a weird question. If you had a superpower for the day, what would it be, and how would you use it?
So this is a question my kids actually ask all the time.
You should be good at it then.
I don't know. I guess I am a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and so I would probably choose to fly, and I would just fly around and like scare myself and like have a great time. Yeah, I can't think what other superpower. I'd sort of quite like to be able to know what people are thinking, but I definitely abuse that power. Like I'd love to, but I would do naughty things.
Do you think that power would hurt as well? You know, like, do you really want to know what people are thinking?
Yeah, no, probably not. So no, no, it would definitely be flying. What about you?
I agree. I would definitely choose flying, and it's kind of, you know, would you fly like just around really sort of like low so you can kind of see what's going on, or would you be like right up into space?
I'd go to like the Grand Canyon and like I'd go and explore and
Just
zip
travel.
around things and have a great adventure. Okay, right. So I'm gonna get a little more personal now.
Mm.
Okay. Could you work with your partner? And the second part of this, could he work with you?
Absolutely not to both questions. Yeah, Mark and I actually, it's people are really surprised because we love each other, we get on brilliantly, but if we try and do any task together, we think so differently that it just ends up in an argument. It's horrendous. We cannot work together on anything. He'll be describing something one way, I misunderstand because I would have described it a completely different way, and we just come to the conclusion now that we just communicate completely differently about tasks. So yeah, we cannot work together, and I really admire, and I know you and Gareth work together, I really admire business owners that can work together as a couple like that and still have a good relationship, because we would be divorced if we tried to work together on a daily basis, because we can't. Much as I love him, we are just so different, we would clash.
Love that. Love that. So what do you say when people say I'm starting up a cleaning business with my partner? Good luck.
I'm sure. Yeah, and I think it's difficult because it's, you know, Mark and I complement each other in our skill sets completely. You know, it's so I don't know why we can't work together, but I think it's fundamentally how we see and visualize and how we plan things are so different. I'm much more of a let's just do it. Mark will be like, no, we need to decide how it's going to happen before we move and before we do this. And then we're actually, even just say we were moving a bit of furniture, honestly, it would be like the Chuckle Brothers, because it's just, we're without the laughter, because it'd be like Mark would go left, and so I would go left and he'd go, no, the other left. And it's just, we just don't describe things in the same way. It's a bit crazy.
So that's a hard no.
Hard no from me. How about you and Gareth then? Because obviously you do work together.
So it's interesting when we say we work together, we do work together, but in all the businesses that we have very, very different roles, and we really, really appreciate each other's talents. And what I love about working with my partner is you have someone like I like working with you, Diane, but in most businesses, you have to rely on someone else, and you can never rely on someone as well as you can rely on your partner. Like, I know that if I'm sick or something, he will step in no matter what. And there's that sort of trust. I'm not saying you can't get it with anyone else, but you don't even have to ask for it. And I quite like that. And there's also, I like working with super competent people. So, I think that could be put as a negative way. I really can't stand incompetent people, but I like super competent people. And it's nice that even though I can ask him sometimes to do things that maybe he isn't good at, I know he will approach it in a way that is competent. And so I quite like that.
Yeah, so having that somebody else in the business you can trust.
Yeah, it's the trust and competency. That's what I look for. Yeah, that's why I quite like working with you, Diane. Trust and competency. They both work well.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, so what do you hate the most about being a business owner?
Oh, what do I hate the most? Probably the thing that I find hardest is I don't think I have a lot of guilt, but I do feel guilty about some of the things I do. And I know I shouldn't. So, for example, disciplinaries. When you make a decision about a disciplinary for the right reason for the business, it has a consequence on that person. And you have to make decisions that you are affecting people's lives, or even sometimes whether I employ them or whether I don't. That has an effect on people's lives. When I take someone to court, like, it affects people. And I have an immense amount of guilt about some of the things that I do and knowingly do. And I would like to absolve some of that responsibility sometimes.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's the responsibility of it is the hardest bit. And also, it's interesting because there was a conversation in the members only group about this recently, the inability to quit.
Whether I can't quit. Like, you
As a
can't.
business owner, you can't quit. You've got too much responsibility to quit. You can quit, but the feeling is that you can't, that you've got the ultimate responsibility.
Yeah, I find that hard. I've kind of come to terms with that a little bit, because in my head now, and quite a few years ago, I sort of realised, particularly in the cleaning business, it's just cleaning. It's not life or death. Do you know what? Your clean didn't happen. Do you know what? Didn't get back to your complaint tonight. I'll get back to it tomorrow. No one's going to die. Everything's fine. And I think you have to put that responsibility in context. And that's how I've kind of come to terms with some of the responsibility sometimes, because, like, when someone's coming to you with a problem, it feels like life or death. It's not. And you can't say to them it's not. But sometimes you can go, I'm just going to have to ignore this.
Yeah.
Until I'm ready
to
do it.
That responsibility becomes a weight, doesn't it, that we carry around.
What do you find hardest?
Yeah, the same. Yeah, that responsibility and the thought that I can't quit. And it doesn't mean I want to quit.
Hang on, no guilt. No guilt.
Yes. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think I ever do anything that I should feel guilty about, because there's always a good reason.
So I don't feel guilty. I believe that the decision I've made is right, or I wouldn't have made it. But I'm fully aware of the consequences. Sometimes a lot of people, and I don't like.
Sometimes
that.
feel bad for the person. Yeah, if I've had to let somebody go for whatever reason, but it's part of the responsibility of being a business owner, isn't it? But yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so my next question leads on nicely from this. So obviously you work in the DCBN. Why do you care about other business owners?
So that's an interesting question. And actually, I remember in the early days of the DCBN sort of thinking, I'm helping my competitors here. Literally, I would have a call where I mentored somebody whose business is 7 miles from mine. And I used to question myself, why am I doing this? Giving away all my knowledge, all my experience to the industry. But I firmly believe that the more I help the industry, the better all of our businesses are. And I still have a cleaning business. So I genuinely believe that it helps my own business as much as I help other people's. And also I learn so much from doing this. Every problem that I help somebody else solve gives me even more skills that I then transfer into my other businesses, whether that's the DCBN or my cleaning business or my letting agency even. I just think that I learn from it as much as I give.
And I think people forget that we did this for 2 years for free, for 2 years. And people go, oh, you're only doing it to make money. It's like, well, we had to start making money because for 2 years we did it for free. And we went, why are we doing this in the end, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of resources that we share, a lot of knowledge that we share. But you know what? It benefits us all. And I genuinely wish that me and you had been around when I started my business 16 years ago, because all the challenges that I faced and the lack of support that was out there, it's just amazing that we can now provide that. And I love that. I really enjoy providing it, but I really wish it had been there for me and you when we first started.
And it's the community that provide it for each other as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Go on.
Okay, so let's have another personal question, shall we? What's your perfect day look like, Louise?
God, my perfect day.
Perfect day.
I'm not at work. There's nothing. I'll tell you what, my perfect day. The thing I hate most is my phone. I hate phone calls. I hate interacting. So I would have 0 phone. No one would bother me. I would. Oh, I'm actually. So obviously my 40th birthday is coming up. I've planned my perfect day. So I'm taking my husband and some very good friends, and we're going and climbing a mountain. And when I say climbing, I've hired a guide. We're literally going on ropes up a mountain with a bit of multi-pitch climbing. It's on the Isle of Skye, and then we're going to have like a nice picnic on the beach and like So yeah, I want to be at nature, no one bothering me, with really close friends and family. That's my perfect day.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And have you
And no
booked
kids.
weather as well?
And good weather, but no midges, and no kids. I feel a bit guilty because actually I'm not sure my perfect day doesn't involve my kids, but it's hard to do what I want to do with kids, so no kids in this case.
Maybe you could say that you have lots of perfect days with your kids, so your other perfect days without them.
My kid's perfect day though is Alton Towers, and that's like, I don't mind roller coasters, but it's not my perfect day being dragged around going, Mummy, I'm hungry. Where's the nearest toilet? Oh, can we go on this route? Will you come on this way? She's too short, so someone's gonna have to stay off. It's just
Alton Towers is much more fun without kids. You can just roller coaster without all the drama. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what is your biggest unachieved aspiration?
Ooh, biggest unachieved aspiration. That the DCBN hasn't.
No, this is a general one. This is a life one.
Just
It doesn't
okay,
have
a
to be
life
DCBN.
one.
You can have anything you want. It's open ended. Biggest unachieved aspiration for you.
For me, oh gosh, I'm not sure I know. Well, it used to be living in France, but obviously I do that now. So I suppose my next aspiration that I haven't achieved yet is I haven't yet got my motorbike license and got a motorbike. I still want to do that before I'm too old to sit on a motorbike. Yeah.
And are
So,
you taking steps towards that?
I sort of am, but it's on a little. It's been on a back burner for a few years. So, but it's something that's still on my vision board, if you like, of my monster Ducati that I'm going to learn how to ride and get my license and get one.
Love it. Oh, do you think people listening to this would know that you're what do you call motorbike? What they call petrol heads and things? Is that what they're called? I don't know.
Bikers, just bikers. Yeah.
Bikers. Do you wear black leather? Have I gone too far?
Yes, funnily enough.
I'll stop there.
Please do. So, go on, you need to share yours now. What's your biggest unachieved aspirations so far?
Biggest unachieved aspiration. So my biggest, I'm not sure I'd call it an aspiration. My biggest goal at the moment is I really want a holiday of a lifetime. I say of a lifetime, it's to do something I've already done. I want to go back and live in Africa for a month. So I spent a year out there when I did my gap year. But of course, when you're 18, you don't really have the funds. You don't really know what's going on. I'd like to go back with the knowledge I've got now and really have the time of my life and the money I've got now and have the time of my life rather than like backpacking. But then I don't know if actually I would have enjoyed it more then. And who wants to stay in safari lodges and, I'm sure I'll have a fine time.
Is that without the kids again, or are you going to take the family?
I'm not taking my kids. I'm already planning this and I'm not taking my kids. I've asked my mum to come and live here for a year. Not yet, a month. And I've said, they're in their exams. So, I love my kids. I love my kids so much. My life is built around my kids. And maybe that's why when I want, oh God, this doesn't look good on me, does it?
It does. There's nothing wrong with having aspirations outside of the family.
But I do everything for my family, so it's okay to want things that aren't.
Fair enough. Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Go on, this is a back to the cleaning industry. So what do you see happening in 5 years' time in the cleaning industry? Do you think we'll still have the same sort of demand as we've got now? What do you think prices will be? What do you think it'll look like?
I don't know, because if you'd asked me 5 years ago, so having spent 15 years in the industry, the first 10 years were inherently stable, like really, really stable. And then obviously lockdown came and COVID and all of that and changed everything. And that was such a big seismic shock that it's almost hard to go, right, are we going to have another 5 years of stability or are we going to have a massive shock? And I find it really hard because technology is changing so rapidly. And if I look at my life now, even compared to 2 years ago, and how much technology impacts every aspect of my job, I would never have fathomed what I do now. So in 5 years, I think it will be almost unimaginable. I think that what we're seeing with AI, I think that I do a lot of sales and marketing at the moment. And as much as one of the things I always say is I don't advertise my cleaning business on social media, and I don't, but I do spend most of my time on social media from a business point of view. And I think I can only see that growing. And I hate social media with a passion, right? But I also love it because I wouldn't be where I was without it. So I think I'll spend more time on social media. I think we'll see a lot more AI. I think that the cleaning industry will be the cleaning industry. Like the industry itself has always been, I think there has to be some kind of technological shift in the cleaning industry. I don't know what, but the chemicals haven't evolved much. The process hasn't evolved much. I don't know what we're going to see. Like I would like to see something to really shake it up because I like change. But, you know, compared to even 50 years ago, has it changed that much? Probably not.
No, and you know, I've been in business 16 years, and if you know, we're using the same vacuum cleaners, the same mop handles. You know, it's I don't think that we were using microfiber cloth 16 years, so not much has changed, has it, in terms of the equipment and how we clean? Yeah. Do you think? I think the demand will increase though.
Massively. So I think the demand will increase. And so I kind of go, well, where's my role as the cleaning industry changes? Where will I be? If I thought about just running my own cleaning business, I think it will carry on because I personally don't want to. I do want to grow my business big, but I quite like it at the size it's at. So even if the demand went through the roof, and it did in the past, I'll probably just keep ticking along, just growing nicely and steadily. I probably wouldn't say, you know, I'm going to run a multi-million-pound business because I'm not.
And
Unless
how much do you think we'll be charging? Are we going to be at £50 an hour? Where are we going to be price wise in 5 years?
5 years, I don't know, because we've had massive inflation. So the prices have skyrocketed in the last 5 years. You know, to now be charging, what do I charge? My average price is £36 an hour. You know, I struggled to break the £20 barrier 5 years ago. So it wouldn't shock me if we were at £50. I don't plan to go up to £50, but I'll roll with whatever comes. If something happens and it pushes us up, if inflation happens, I can't see us now going up less than £3 a year on average. So yeah, we'll probably be at £50.
£15, isn't it? That's your £50.
Yeah, I think there'll still be people undercutting us. I think everything that I have always seen in the cleaning industry, I think it will stay really, really stable. There'll be, I think as businesses, you just adapt, don't you? So I'm not expecting massive changes. We'll just roll with whatever's happened. And we've been through such big changes. How can we not adapt now?
I think the overall picture of the industry, its makeup will be the same, I think, and yeah, its customer base will be the same. I think the demand actually will increase because it's a lifestyle thing now for a whole new generation, isn't it? So yeah, I think it'll still be here, looking very similar, but hopefully everybody making more money.
Love it. Okay, I've got one more bonus question because you've actually had
Okay,
5 already, right?
I've got
This
one too.
this gets really mean now. Okay, so
Okay.
you can answer this personally or you can answer with the attributes. Okay. Of all the DCBM members, right?
Okay.
Who is most likely to succeed in running a cleaning business? Or you can talk about the attributes if you don't want to get really mean.
I'm going to just talk about attributes. I can't really mention anybody in particular. But what I've seen, and I see this with my coaching clients as well, is the most successful people in this industry are those who understand, like you talked about, that it's a game, and that it's separate from you as a person, and who look at every aspect of their business and how they can improve it on a daily basis.
Okay.
And that they also understand that as the business owner, your job every day is to solve problems. And if that's not what you like to do, then you'll find this really difficult.
So are we going to name and shame? Name and shame, name and bring up. It's not a name and shame. It's who is going to succeed.
We've got some amazing superstars in our membership, haven't we? And yeah, they're amazing. And if you're listening, you know who you are. Yeah, you're doing brilliantly. Go on, Louise. What do you think the attributes are of the most successful cleaning business owners?
I don't know, because I would have said, right, and what I like seeing, there are people that go out and they research to a level I've never seen. And if you ask them a question about a given subject, they can tell you every aspect of that. And I thought that that was the secret to success. What I've learned from experience is it categorically isn't, because they are spending so long studying and perfecting it. They're never going out and doing it. So
It's called analysis paralysis.
yeah, so I've kind of gone, okay, so that's not the right answer. It's really people that get off their arse and go and do it, but have the self-awareness to analyze what they're doing and tweak it. And it doesn't have to be life-changing tweaks. It's tweaking for that sort of 1, 2, 3% change. It's the people that have that immense self-awareness. So it's not about your previous experience. It's not about your ability to work. It's about your ability to look at what's happening in front of you, understand it, and either go and get extra help, and you will have to study certain bits at some point, or go and ask for help and adapt to it quickly. So it's self-awareness. That is the attribute.
Yeah. Okay, so can we turn that question the other way? So what will hold people back from being successful?
Lack of self-awareness. So it's, again, every time I hear it's my area that stops me charging that much. No, it's you. I can't do that because, no, it's you. It's that self-awareness, and they don't believe they can change, and they can't look at it and see what control they've got over that situation. So that is the biggest things that hold people's back. I don't even think it's belief, although obviously it all comes into belief, but it's that blaming external things and not being able to ultimately take responsibility for every element of communication, every element that happens in that business. When your staff do things, everything, it comes down to self-awareness and taking that responsibility that both of us have both said is the thing we hate most about being business owners. Yay! So it's full circle.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. When I worked at Action Coach, one of the things that they used to talk about was the phrase "I know" being the biggest barrier to business success. Because if somebody tells you something and your answer is "I know," so it's the same as saying "I know I can't do that in my area," or "I know this won't work," "I know this won't work," rather than if you turned it around and said, "That's interesting. Could I apply that to my situation?" That's the helpful way. But "I know" is just a barrier to learning, to expanding, and actually growing your business. So, and I've never forgotten that. It was a really interesting part of it. The other thing that he always used to say was, "You get the team you deserve," which is kind of a bit harsh, but also true.
So what do you think holds people back?
I think what holds people back is their confidence in their own abilities. So it's mindset again, isn't it? But it's the confidence that they can do this. And also, one of the biggest barriers to success is shiny penny syndrome. It's the distractions of, "I'll do this instead of this. I'll do this. If I took on a different kind of cleaning, maybe my business would be more successful. If I did this, maybe." And it's just focus on your actual business and fix that.
That's what I think about people that spend all their time study, but it almost ends up giving you too many options. And then you do one for a little bit, that doesn't quite work. So you flip to the next one. It's like, no, just stick at one and just absolutely get it right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right. So that's been quite a few questions, Diane. I don't know how that want to go out. I guess there's quite a bit in there for cleaning businesses.
I don't know if anybody's found out more about us or not, maybe more than they wanted to know. It's apparently, yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And yes, we'll release some of these snippets at some point. Bye.